Hey there guys, today we are going to change the steering cylinder on a Mercury Verado. This is a fairly simple process. Today we will be changing a joystick piloting steering cylinder that has an actuator on it. Don't worry, the regular steering cylinder is exactly the same, just with less things to undo. If this video helps you out, make sure you give it a like and get subscribed to the channel. We want to start by cracking the steering lines that are on the front of the cylinder. With joystick piloting, one hose is a 15/16 inch wrench, the other is a 13/16 inch. On a regular cylinder, they are an 11/16. After cracking them, you can leave them on the cylinder. Then here on the bracket, there are two bolts on each side that require a 1/2 inch wrench. Take a punch and a hammer to bend the tabs over so you can take the bolts out. For a regular cylinder, just skip forward, but with a joystick cylinder we need to remove the tie bar mounting bracket to disconnect the steering arm attached to the cylinder ram. Bend the tabs over and remove the two bolts using a 5/8 inch wrench or ratchet, then disconnect the arm using a 9/16. Now let's pull off the cylinder. After removing the 4 bolts, pull on each end of the cylinder to pull it off of the engine. You might have to take a dead blow and lightly hammer on each end back and forth to get it off. Check where the locating pins are before installing the new one. You can move the inside of the cylinder back and forth to position it correctly to go onto the engine bracket. Put lots of grease on the O-ring to keep it in place. Then you can slide the new cylinder on carefully to make sure it goes all the way on without rolling over the O-ring. Install the 4 bolts in the back and torque them to 18 foot-pounds and bend the tabs over. You can adjust the fittings on the front of the cylinder by loosening the nut in the back, turning the fitting, and then retightening it. Install the hoses the way they were. Install the steering arm and put the washers and nut on, but don't tighten it. Torque down the tie bar arm bolts. If it's the M8 bolts, it's 40 foot-pounds, and the M10 bolts are 59 foot-pounds. Then tighten the nut to 120 inch-pounds and back it off a quarter turn. The harness is a single plug. Just unplug the old and plug in the new. Now all we have to do is fill and bleed the steering fluid. Locate the steering pump, remove the top and cap. The engine has to be running to do this, so start the engine and pour fluid in until you are about a 1/2 inch from the top of the reservoir. Turn the engine back and forth a couple times with the cap on, then leave about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of air from the fluid to the lid. If there is still air left in the system and the steering is not reactive, bleed the system using the 2 bleeder valves on the steering cylinder. And that's it. We have successfully changed out a Mercury Verado steering cylinder and filled up the steering system with fluid. Now we're ready to get out on the water. If the video helped you out, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe for more how-to Verado videos to help you keep your boat out on the water. We'll see you on the next one.